G'day YouTubers, back, ready to record another podcast. And if you guys don't want to see my ugly looking mug, and I don't blame you, you can just jump on iTunes or, not on Stitcher yet, but I did apply for it. So I know if you got Google Home, you can just go, okay Google, play the Transmove podcast. Not sure about Alexa yet. So I'd have to, I don't know. If you've got it and you can get me on it, just shoot me an email. So we better get this episode cranking. G'day trendsetters, welcome to episode 149 of the Transmove podcast. My name is Tim Egg, and if you guys have any questions you'd like answered on the show, type into that little Google machine of yours, trainsmove.com. On the front you'll see submit questions. You follow the little prompts, and I get all excited when I get questions. So today's question comes from Stephen, and he sent a few questions in of late. So this is a continuation from all those. So he's doing a 70.3, but I'll actually answer his question here. I'm on the wrong email. Sorry. This is a great pod here. How important is strength training sessions during the week for me? I'm 35 years old, I'm doing a 70.3, and I feel like between swim, bike and run sessions, my body is barely recovering as it is. I'm nervous of injuries for the run, and I've been injured in and out for the past 4 years, but back at it in full swing. I've heard in previous podcasts from you that I can get my strength training through paddles, low gearing on the bike. What is the best for me? Will my body eventually get used to this? So it is a good question. I like good questions. So to starters, the first thing that pops out to me is you're on defense, and a lot of us are on defense, and just not in training, but just in general life. But I think you need to change your mindset to be on get onto the offense. Like, why are you getting injured? That'd be the first thing I'd be looking at. And how can I stay healthy? So I'd be really focusing on recovery. I'd be focusing on getting my body right. I'd be focusing on basically, so I'll start off with trying to keep my body healthy. So I'm struggling to articulate what I'm trying to think here. My head's going before my mouth, sorry. So I'd be using the foam rollers. I've got this stick at home. It cost me $5 from Kmart. You can get it's this stick with little ball bearings in it, and there's a foam rubber, and you can grind your legs up and down, up and down. I'd be using that every single day for about 10 minutes or so. Just go through the legs. You don't need to go crazy on them. I'd start off with the hamstring, go down to the calves, back to the hamstrings, then do your quads. I'd do that every day. I'd also be jumping on the foam roller, rumble roller if you have. Be doing that at least once a week, and then you can do the whole full body then. I'd be wearing recovery socks wherever possible. I'd be doing after my long run, after my long bike ride, I'd be jumping into either an ice bath or a very cold water. And the best things for that is if you have jump on like Craigslist or Gumtree or your local Facebook buy, swap and sell, and just hunt down one of those drums. I was able to get my grubby little hands on a big blue barrel, and it cost me nothing. I cut the lid off it, I fill it up with water. I generally replace the water once a week, and what I do is I'll keep these giant Tupperware containers on the bottom of my freezer. I fill them up with water, and when I'm just about to jump into the barrel, I put them into the water, I grab a hammer, I smash the ice, I split it up into little pieces, and I can just hop in there. So and you can do it. You can set the water so your crutch isn't underwater, and that's what drives a lot of people out of there. And I'd be hanging in that for about 10 to 15 minutes thereabouts. And that's really, really good to keep you healthy. And so I'd be really trying to be on the offensive side to keeping recovered, keeping healthy. But to answer your question, so I've 4 minutes 34 seconds here, and I haven't really answered your question. So yes, I'd be looking at doing. I'd be definitely looking at doing core strength work at least 3 days a week, just body weights. I wouldn't. You don't really need to be in the gym lifting weights if you're already on the edge, and it all goes within your available training hours as well. If you've only got 10 hours to train, the gym work's probably not going to be the optimal time spent. So I'd be looking at doing paddle work in the pool maybe once a week. I'd be looking at doing some overgearing work. Hills are good for this. If not, just something, and I'll give you a session here, a 2-hour ride, and towards the end of the ride, do 4 times 4 minutes in a low gear between 55 to 65 RPM, just grinding out a big gear. And I'm not talking about just keeping the same effort, I'm talking about pushing the effort. After the 4 minutes, put it to a nice easy gear, spin light for 2 minutes, back into it, 4 minutes, boom, boom, boom. I'd probably do that in the saddle for four times, and then maybe the next week I would look at doing it 2 times in the saddle, and then on the other 2 times I'd be spending 2 minutes in the saddle, 2 minutes out of the saddle, but keeping your bum close to the seat and really just grinding those big gears, and then the easy spin. That's a good session. I'd be also looking at doing some hill repeats. And you can play around with hill repeats. You can add them into any sort of run. So you've got a long run. Well, I'll just do into a rolling hill run. Bob's your uncle. You're getting some strength work in through the rolling hills. Or you can do one of my favourite hill repeats is adding it almost like a speed session. So you're doing you mark out where 15 seconds is, 30 seconds is, 45 seconds is. So you warm up. Warm up, cool down. I'm talking about main sets here. So run fast for 15 seconds, and then you either jog down is easy recovery, or you walk down for the recovery. Go up to 30 seconds, back down. Up to 45 seconds, back down. Or if you're trying to mix things up, trying to get really, semi-race ready, you might want to do a 2-3 mile tempo run, followed by 5 2-minute hill repeats, back down, and you can either finish it off with another 2-mile tempo run or moderate effort or whatever. You can play around with that. So I'd be probably looking at doing that. You're probably better off spending doing your strength training through that. Strength training is very important. Now, I've said I don't believe everyone needs to be in the gym, but everyone needs to be doing strength work. From teenagers right through. Now, depending what you're trying to achieve, depends on how often you need to do strength work. So, for instance, you're doing half Ironman. I think Ironman, and especially Ironman, you need to do a lot more strength work, but definitely half Ironman and Ironman, you generally do more strength work as opposed to sprint and Olympic distance, where it's more speed work. So, for instance, in a 7-day training block, you might do 2 strength sessions. If you're doing Ironman or 70.3, you might do two strength days. If you would, and maybe 1 speed day. If you were doing sprint and Olympics, I'd probably swap them around. So you're doing 2 speed days, maybe 1 strength days, and you can muck around with it. It could be like strength, speed, strength, aerobic, easy. You can mark that out as your week or so. But I'm throwing a whole lot of stuff here, so my head's moving quickly here, and I'm struggling to get my mouth to follow. And so I do apologise if I've thrown a lot here, and you're thinking, what the hell is this moron on about? Strength work is important. Now, it just so happens that I sent Steve here an email with an actual strength program, core strength session program that he can do, where You know, it starts off with doing some push-ups, some sit-ups, some chin-ups, and some planking, side planks, leg scissors. It takes about 10 minutes to do. You can do it at home. You can do it at work at your lunch break. They're a good session to do. I should really put this session out on the website so you guys can get your grubby little hands onto it. I'll try and do that. In fact, I will do that, and I'll put it on today's show notes. And I'm not one to be wanting to do that, saying, "Oh, click onto our website." And on the show notes is just to get you onto the website. But on this occasion, because I'm talking about this actual particular session, I'll do it. You won't need to subscribe to an email list or anything. I'll put it in as a Google Doc, so you can just click onto it and download it straight away. I think that's it. And of course, I'm now filming all these podcasts for YouTube as well. Just giving YouTube a thumbs up. I'll put a link to that down in the comments here. So you won't even need to click on the website if you want. You can just grab the Google Doc. I'm all good. If you guys have any questions, feel free to send me an email, tim@trainsmooth.com. Till tomorrow. Hooroo. See you later, awesome people.